Justin.
Hello. Welcome to Nostalgia Lane. As I go ahead and give you a quick synopsis of Berserk. Basically, set in the medieval area, Berserk is a dark, gritty tale that follows one man's struggle to find his own path while supporting another man's lust for power. Pretty much, typical friendship story, right? Well, this one's with a twist. Spoiler alert, somebody becomes a demon, somebody gets screwed retarded, just saying. Possibly,
like a lot.
The time it was released, you were seeing a lot of bubble pop kind of things in culture, especially Japanese culture, but this is probably considered one of the darkest, most demented type of animes there is. And you know what? I personally love it. I love the effect that the darker type of animes and mangas have on Western civilization. I mean, this one basically has a guy who gets his eyes gouged out and gets his hand ripped off and shit. And you know what? I'm okay with this.
Yeah. It was one of my favorites growing up. It was, even my mother got into it. It was a very dark, very gritty tale of a man who basically from the time he was born had lost everything, a child soldier who went through hell and finally thought he found a place he belonged. And the story starts there and it ends with one of the biggest twists in my mind of an anime that really hits you in the heart chords.
Yes. I mean, if you haven't seen it, you should sit down and watch the original. I think it's 25 episodes, and then watch the 3 movies, because the 3 movies, spoiler alert, include characters that were not included in the original anime, but in the manga that tells so much more of a story.
Oh, not just so much more of the story. It is. And I think the original series is a masterpiece art-wise because it was still at a time when they were hand-drawing every single frame of animation and not just drawing a little bit and then digitally going in with it. So it's a pristine period of anime.
When they re-released that whole saga, that I believe it's the Black Swordsman, they did it in 3 different movies, and you could tell there's a lot of digital shit done to it, but the faces are still trying to be hand-drawn, and it's kind of wonky. It's PlayStation 1 graphics almost.
Yeah. So how many books did that actually have?
Oh, that manga is super long. They actually tried
in 500.
Yeah, it's a serious manga, and the thing about it is they actually tried to ban that in most countries. Even a few states here, I believe, tried to ban it because he when it shows him as a child, this dude had the roughest childhood possible, and he overcame. And you want to talk about fight scenes? This anime has some of the best fight scenes, the best. I mean, just graphically and everything else, it is just amazing. And the story was just so damn good to it.
Oh, I mean, and that's what kills me is that they have so much source material to continue the anime, or to even start a new one and continue it, and they have freaking basically dropped off and not decided to continue it.
At a big moment. It pissed you off, but it was still satisfying to see what happened. Because I don't want to give it away because there is a twist. And it's like, wow, now you know why this guy is on the path that he is.
Well, and they've done that with a lot of different anime where it's picked up to this great, huge moment, and then it's just, well, we're just going to stop producing shows.
Yeah, and that's just sad. And that's one thing that pisses me off. It seems the shitty ones tend to get a longer running series, but the best ones only get 1 or 2 seasons.
One Piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, there's so many great ones.
But I think it's because of the brutality because it surpasses any Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball or anything like that. Just because of what it is, the brutality to it, they had to shut it down. As far as manga goes, it's still ranked number 1 with a number 8 popularity over at my anime list. I looked it up earlier today.
Oh yeah, and this was a time before. It was at the time where anime started to get really cutesy and fun, but it didn't go that way as most are now. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Attack on Titan, it's so brutal and the story's so deep and this and that." It's like, if you think that is, you got to watch Berserk, man. Because the twist at the end, after it builds you up to love these characters, it throws you for a loop.
It tries to crush your soul, it really does. But, this was also, I believe Sailor Moon was released the same year that this decided to pick up as a manga. If that gives you any idea of what they were pushing over here in America at that time this was released.
Yeah.
And this, oh man, as far as the spectrum goes, this is total opposite. It's like, oh shit.
Then you really do fall in love with these characters. There's actually, for people out there that have seen it and want to get more from it, there's actually a game on the Dreamcast that I own. It's kind of hard to find now, of Berserk, but it takes place after the anime series ends. And that was, at the time for Western fans, our only way to see what happened. Because a lot of the manga wasn't over here yet. And that was a great game, too.
That game is legendary.
Yeah, legendary in the way to find it.
Yeah, true. There was whispers of a remake for PlayStation 3, and that quickly died.
No.
And they decided to do the movies instead and release them.
See, I would love to have a remake of that game, especially in HD.
They are saying that they're going to continue the next arc in the movies, though, which we need that next arc.
Yes, that's something we've been waiting for at least, I would say, 10 years.
But I love the effect that it's had on not just like the American anime that we make, but in the comic book world too, because of the manga and the darkness of it.
And how serious the story was too. That definitely had an impact at the time it came off. That grabbed a lot of us off guard. I think I was actually the first one to show you this anime, was I not?
Yep.
Still got it on box set.
I acquired it via the internet.
Hey, no shame to your game. Any thoughts?
Alright. I personally haven't read it. I know I've heard of it. And I've heard it's very good. I haven't got around to reading it. I can probably pull it up online. But the only thing is that they're continuing the movies from where the anime stopped.
Yeah.
So the only question is that how many of those movies can they actually do?
They can do quite a lot.
Without.
Like I said, as far as the manga goes, there's over 500, books of it, or what do they call it, issues or whatever. But I mean, these first three that just came out, I believe they're called King of the Egg 1, 2, and 3. Actually follows that original 25 episode series that was originally released, I believe, in the mid '90s.
Yeah. The first series, which is 6 DVDs, follows the first story arcs of the book, and then take you at the end of where a lot of it, you know what I mean, I don't want to give it away, but it starts with the very first, him as a child, and everything that happens up to a certain point, and then stops. So if you watch the original series, that'll catch you up. The movie glosses over it in a fast pace, but it gives you the overall story. But if you really want to get in deep, go with the first series, then watch the new movies, and they're going to continue that story from there.
Right.
And if you're a fan of Attack on Titan, Vampire Hunter D, Google 13, you're going to be a fan of this. What other ones would they, if they liked it, they would like this one, Justin?
Eureka, the movie Eureka that came out quite some time ago, 89, I believe. Yeah, if they love that movie, they'll probably fall in love with this series just because of the story, and then there's the violence factor too for those kids that are just like blow it up.
The gore lovers, like I used to be.
But yeah, I mean, there's 25 episodes, and some people might call it filler, but it's really character development, in my opinion. It's not like Dragon Ball Z where they're standing around for an hour.
Oh no, it all counts.
You're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. It all counts. It all builds up, and it gets you to love these characters even more. There's no real filler. It just, even those episodes, I would dare somebody to call it filler, because what it's doing is setting up the characters, setting up to further the plot, and really delving deep into these characters' histories and behaviors.
One thing that the movie did touch on that you didn't see in the series, oddly enough, is the further development between main character Guts and other character, Casca.
Yeah, Casca.
Yes.
Well, you see, the anime ends. The series ended at a certain point, which they couldn't go any further until that next part came out. You know what I mean? We
Oh
wanted
yeah,
to see
yeah.
where that went, but we just couldn't because there was no more to go. But now there's more to go, and there's even more manga. So
Yeah, and just a mild spoiler. The things that are required by Guts later on in the manga would make the story for the anime so much better as far as
oh yeah,
equipment.
the Dragon Slayer sword, which is like an 8 foot
Yes.
tall, 5 foot wide sword of just demolishing everything. Like this man got the name 100 Man Slayer, and you see why.
Yeah. Even Cloud would be like, "Damn, bro, that's a big sword."
Exactly.